Well, hello, everyone. We are live. Thank you for tuning in to Sea Shepherd Live Show, Episode 2. I'm joined here by Devin. My name is Sarah. We're both crew members of Sea Shepherd.
Hi, how are you guys? Welcome to the
Hi,
show.
Devin. Welcome.
Hey,
Thank you
Sarah.
all for joining us. So let's kick it off. It's 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The first part of the show, we're going to do a captain's call. We're going to bring in our two captains that are out at sea right now. Captain Alejandro on the Seahorse and Captain Meg, who's on the Martin Sheen. And yeah, so let's get started. Let's bring them in.
Perfect. And they're both in Milagro X right now on different ships.
Yes. Hey guys, welcome.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Thanks for
Thank you
joining
for joining us. So let's start with Captain Alejandro. How are you doing tonight?
Well, everything is great. Another day in paradise, enjoying the sunset right now.
It looks
very good. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks
And
really
you?
incredible. I'm so good. I wish I was where you are. That background is epic. Absolutely beautiful.
Actually.
Yeah, I can't believe it. So yeah, tell us a little bit about Milagro X. For some of our viewers who don't know what you've been up to, yeah, maybe give us a little bit of a rundown of what the campaign day to day is, and then like some of the animals you guys are protecting out there.
Okay, so Operation Milagro aims to ensure the CTA is free of nets, which is an area that is located in San Felipe, Baja California, to ensure the survival of the vaquita marina by monitoring, gathering information, and reporting illegal fishing to the Mexican authorities. So, yeah, like here, we are here in this area, making sure that everything is okay, that everything is controlled, having collaboration between the Mexican authorities and Sea Shepherd, which is a great and strong collaboration. And we all together have decreased illegal fishing by 90%. So yeah, the operation is here just monitoring, informing, reporting, gathering evidence, and working together with the Mexican government and for ensuring the survival of the vaquita marina.
That's awesome. And it's Totoaba season 2, I imagine. So you guys have had your hand full with that, a lot of night stuff. That's really great to hear. Well, we really appreciate you chiming in. Yeah.
And so you guys are protecting the vaquita refuge, but what are some of the other animals that you guys are protecting at the same time?
Yeah, well, so like the purpose to have this area free of nets, and by having this area free of nets, we're also protecting all the species that live in this area, like whales, dolphins, sea lions, and etc. Like honestly, every day we are watching whales. This is insane. Like this is amazing, and it's just jumping, like doing stuff. Dolphins, sea lions that approach to our ship. It just I'm very happy to be part of this operation because I'm witness of the change, and I'm witness, and I know how this collaboration between both organizations is having results to for the survival of the vaquita and also to protect all the other species that are here in this area.
Dude, that sounds so incredible. I saw some awesome dolphin footage today. I couldn't believe it. It was like, I don't know, incredible to see those dolphins just jumping in front of the boat with such epic drone footage. But well, yeah, well, I really appreciate you, Captain Alejandro, for taking the time out of your captaining to stop by. It's good to see you. I got to be on the Seahorse a couple of times, so I miss it. And yeah, thank you so much. We'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Alejandro. All right, next up, we have the Captain Meg on the Martin Sheen. Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure, Sarah and Devin. It's so nice to be here today on the Sea Shepherd show, and I've been looking forward to checking in with you guys and checking in with our audience at home and just giving a bit of information about life here on board the Martin Sheen.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know that I've seen you in a few calls, but I don't feel like we've ever really got to connect, or like I've never met you in person. So it's great to like officially talk to you. And I would love to hear about kind of your journey with Sea Shepherd. I know that you've been with Sea Shepherd definitely longer than I have, and it sounds like you've captained a few boats. So if you could just tell us a little bit about that journey that you've been on with Sea Shepherd and about some of the boats that you've been on.
That's right. Well, I've been involved with Sea Shepherd since the beginning of 2021, but of course I've known about Sea Shepherd for a lot longer than that. When I was first starting my career at sea as a mariner in Western Australia, which is where I'm from, we had a lot of interaction in my home harbour with Sea Shepherd vessels coming in. We also had vessels from the Japanese whaling fleet that would come in to Fremantle, the same port. And so Sea Shepherd had a lot of supporters there in Australia. They had a lot of supporters in Fremantle. And so it was always a big buzz every time the ships would come in because, of course, everybody was rooting for Sea Shepherd and everybody wanted them to win and everybody wanted them to, like, be able to deal with this problem of whaling down in the Southern Ocean. So as a young up-and-coming mariner, I found that very inspiring. And it was something that, you know, looking into the future, I could, you know, something that I could aim towards, being able to actively try to achieve work in the marine conservation field and to take care of what I really care about, which is our world's oceans and the creatures that inhabit them. And so having the opportunity to get involved with Sea Shepherd from 2021 onwards has been an incredible and life-changing experience for me. I was first involved on our vessel, the White Holly, as chief mate at the beginning of 2021. And then later on in the year, I came back and I did my first Operation Milagro. I was on the Sharpie, which was one of the 3 cutters that we had that were like heavily involved with Milagro for quite a few years up here. And I started out that journey here in Milagro as chief mate on board the Sharpie. That was the end of 2021, and then I quickly stepped up to captain there. I am a captain in my everyday life as well. I work on other vessels, and I use my free time to come here and try to contribute to the causes that Sea Shepherd are working towards. I came back again in 2022 as captain on the Farley Moet, which was a really fantastic experience. It was great to see how much things had changed during the little bit less than a year between when I'd left and when I came back, and just how far we'd come in our collaboration with the Mexican government and the changes in the style of activity that we're seeing in the zero tolerance area and in the Vaquita Refuge in general. And I was also really privileged on that occasion to work with an all-female bridge team, which is also something that I think is fantastic. One of the things I love about being involved with Sea Shepherd is how much diversity that you have in the people that you're working with, and how much, you know, you've got people coming from all over the world that are here, and they have all different kinds of backgrounds, and they have coming from diving or marine biology, or from, you know, maybe they grew up in the desert, or maybe they've never really like been at sea before, but everybody's coming here with these amazing intentions, you know, to try to achieve something good in the field of marine conservation. And so it's just such a treat to be able to work with the people that we get to here on the Sea Shepherd vessels. And working on the Farley Moet was a fantastic experience. And I was part of the last crew here on one of the cutters before we exchanged with the Seahorse. So we took the Farley away, and the Seahorse came here and moved into like a whole different phase of Milagro. And now this is my 3rd time up in this area, and just the kind of change that we've seen over the last few years has been amazing. So it's such a privilege. I also am very pleased to be able to work with a female bridge team again. My chief officer, Cassidy, she's wonderful. She's a great asset to the team, and yeah, we have a great crew here.
That's incredible. That's really amazing. I think it's so wild to see. I bet it's such a difference to go from such a fast boat like the cutters to kind of a much slower pace with like far less pangas, like very, very few, you know, the fishermen have started to really respect the zero tolerance zone. How is that just being, you know, going from that crazy fast wild boat to a much slower pace?
Well, it's really mind blowing. Like to have been here a couple of years ago and to have been a part of the process of the hooks, for instance, being placed in the ZTA and the collaboration with the Mexican Navy increasing and all the different elements and the way that they've come together. Because a couple of years ago when I was here in this area, you would just see so much fishing activity. There was fishing activity, and people really weren't respecting that zero tolerance area at all. And so just how far we've come in the last couple of years to now there's just no pungers fishing in the zero tolerance area, and the collaboration that we have together with the government and the Navy here and enforcing everything, it's like come leaps and bounds. And it's really, really spectacular to see what we can achieve when we set our minds to it and when we work together and we have that kind of determination.
Yeah, it is really incredible. Like even within like the few short years that it's been, how much of a difference Sea Shepherd has been able to make in the zero tolerance area is actually becoming zero tolerance. So yeah, no, it's incredible. And it's also just incredible that you use so much of your spare time and your time off to like come and be a part of this. So we really appreciate you being on the boat. We also really appreciate you being on the show and taking time out of, I know you guys are doing a lot on the boat, so we really appreciate you taking this time.
And I feel bad too. You're losing light too, so we'll let you get back to what you have to do for the night. So yes, well, thank you so much, Captain Meg. We have always been a huge fan of yours, and we just really appreciate you. So you have a good night.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to see you guys, and thanks everyone at home for watching.
Bye.
Thanks, Meg.
Okay, now we're going to go to the galley of the Seahorse, where we have Chef Sarah. Hi, everyone in the galley.
Hi, everybody. How are you all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. We're just like in the middle of prepping dinner, so.
Well, we'd love to hear and kind of see what you're making. But first, I kind of just wanted to get a little bit of a background on you. It sounded, I kind of got the sense that you were in the yachting world before, but I'd also heard that you are an engineer and you'd applied to be an engineer at Sea Shepherd, but like all the spots were filled. And it kind of sounded like you just stepped up to the plate when we needed a chef. So if you could first kind of walk us through that kind of journey that you went on.
Yeah, sure. I've been working in the super yacht industry for about 15 years.
Oh.
So I've got a total love for the ocean. I've been vegan for about 10 years and really respect Sea Shepherd and just wanted to be part of Sea Shepherd. So when I applied to be an engineer and then I got a call to say, can you help us out? We need a relief chef. I was like, okay, I'm there.
That's crazy.
I love that. And I mean, I've never had your cooking because I've never been on the Seahorse, but I have only heard amazing things about your cooking. And I know you're feeding
everybody.
I know you're feeding like 18 to 20 people, which is not an easy task.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But would you be able to show us kind of what you're making right now?
Yeah, sure. We're just making taquitos, which is a Mexican dish, and half of the crew are Mexican. So Mexican food goes down really well. That's probably why I've got good reviews. So here's some I've made earlier. These are the taquitos. And inside is just like mashed potato and beans and a bit of onion. And you can put anything in there, like vegan beef, vegan cheese, vegan chicken, obviously, and sweet corn, just any combination. And then what I'm going to do with these, because we've got so many to cook for, I'm going to put them in the oven. Whereas if you're at home, you could put them in the air fryer. They taste amazing, really crispy, or you can fry them on the pan. They taste amazing. And then we've got some sides to go with it, all Mexican again.
Ooh.
Some guacamole, salsa, some shredded lettuce, some sour cream made from tofu, and some nacho queso made from tofu as well. Just because we have somebody who's allergic to cashews on board. And yeah, cashews are a great alternative to use, but tofu's my hero at the moment.
That's amazing. It looks so good. And for anyone who's watching, we did also post the recipe for these tacos or taquitos. Sorry. We did post the recipe. So if anyone wants to make these vegan taquitos, they will be up on our Facebook. But thank you so much for joining us. I know you're about to feed 20 hungry, hardworking people, so we'll let you get back at it. But thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you, and have a good evening, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks,
All right,
Sarah.
bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right. So next up, we have our very special guest. We're super honored to have him. I know his time is limited, so we'll get right into it. Peter Hemstedt from Sea Shepherd Global is here, and he's going to talk to us about our Antarctica campaign, hashtag Stop the Plunder. So excited to have him, and welcome, Peter. Thank you so much for being here. Such an honor to have you.
Hi, Devin. It's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me as your guest.
Oh my God, absolutely. So Peter, let's dive right in. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown of the campaign? I know you guys are just like either coming back or kind of wrapping out this first trip. Yeah, let us know. How's it going?
Well, as our followers know, Sea Shepherd has a long history of protecting the Antarctic, and we spent almost 15 years chasing Japanese whaling ships around the frozen continent of the Antarctic. And based on the media attention that we raised off those campaigns, ultimately the governments of Australia and New Zealand took the government of Japan to the International Court of Justice and ruled that their whaling program was indeed illegal, and that shut down the whaling fleet. We then went after the toothfish poachers, and we chased the most notorious toothfish poacher in the world, a ship called Thunder, for 110 days until it finally sank off the coast of West Africa. We had to rescue the captain. We had to rescue the crew. We turned them over to law enforcement, and they were sentenced to prison time. And since then, we've been working all around the African continent, working with governments to arrest illegal fishing boats. And we thought that Antarctica was safe. And when a report came out 2 years ago that there was this new threat facing the Antarctic ecosystem, namely massive krill super trawlers targeting this small crustacean, the foundational species on which the entire marine ecosystem in Antarctica relies on for survival, we knew that we would have to head back down again. And what we uncovered was that this is one of the biggest illegal or one of the biggest overfishing and destructive fishing challenges of our time.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. I can't even imagine, like, you've been back and forth there so many times, and it's so amazing that you started your career, like, you know, protecting one of the largest creatures, and now you're, you know, back protecting the very food that they eat. It's
the smallest creatures.
Literally.
And that's a really good way of putting it. We've gone from protecting some of the world's largest creatures to protecting some of the world's smallest creatures. But this is still a whale defense campaign.
Absolutely.
Fin whales, humpback whales depend on krill for their very sustenance. And it just defies logic that 14 of these ships, each one of them the size of 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools, heads down to the bottom of the world to catch these small crustaceans in order to create omega-3 health food supplements for which there are plant-based alternatives, in order to create an additive to add to fish meal to turn the flesh of farm salmon pink, and to feed to our cats and dogs. It's just nonsensical. And it puts the entire Antarctic ecosystem at risk. People think of Antarctica as this untouched wilderness, and they would just be shocked as we were, to see that there are ships that are licensed and allowed to take out the keystone species that all other creatures depend on. There isn't a single animal down in Antarctica that doesn't either depend directly on krill or depend on a species that depends on krill for survival.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's one thing I'm going to play while we're talking, some of the just the trawlers that you're talking about, and like some of the work that you guys have been doing, capturing some of this stuff. One of the things I love about the global campaign right now is that you're actually engaging your audience to help you by documenting and finding products that have krill in them in their local stores, and sending those images to you guys on your website. I think it's called like the krill investigation form. And that's something that we'll post again too, so our audience can also help in that. But yeah.
When it's illegal whaling ships, we can get in the way, we can block the harpoons, we can shut them down. When it's illegal toothfish poachers, we can cut their nets, we can seize their fishing gear, we can take it on board, we can release the animals. But this is a legal fishery, and that's one of the things that makes it so appalling because it's so destructive. And when something's legal, we first need to change the laws and make it unlawful. There's now this big global push to set aside areas of ocean as marine protected areas. And we know the value that national parks serve on land. Well, we need more marine parks at sea. And so this year we're going to be pushing, thanks to this documentation made possible by Sea Shepherd supporters all over the United States, all over the world, we're going to be able to help push for these marine protected areas to be put in place. And that will lock up these critical marine areas as sanctuaries for wildlife. That will prevent krill fishing from happening there. But beyond that, we also have to go after the market. We need to make the krill oil supplement industry not profitable. And the way we do that is that's not something we can do from our ship at sea. We need Sea Shepherd supporters, Sea Shepherd volunteers all around the world to help us do that. And the first step is really mapping out the entire supply chain so that we can identify what are the places that sell krill oil supplements and what are the places taking an ethical stand, refusing to sell them.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think some of the things we forget to think about that sometimes in conservation is, we want to make sure that we do understand the supply and demand of things and hold people like accountable for those who are buying it, purchasing it, making these products out of it. It's not just the trawlers. It's a whole supply chain. So,
right. And we're at this really critical juncture right now in protecting the Antarctic. At the moment, we're at this stage where there are 12 to 14 of these super trawlers operating down in the Antarctic at any point in time during the Antarctic summer. But the krill industry is looking to expand. Norway is looking to build another couple of boats. The Russian Federation has plans to build another ship. The People's Republic of China, there are companies there planning to build ships. So if we don't act now, then in the next few years, we won't just be dealing with 12 or 14 of these ships. We could be dealing with 2 or 3 times as many. And that's why we need Sea Shepherd supporters all around the world to help us turn back this tide of destruction, to make sure that this is not a lucrative investment, that the krill fishery does not have a future.
No, absolutely. That is incredible work. And I think then, as you move forward, what is your next step, or what could we do as our next step? Now, is it now like petitioning government, trying to get more, like you said, like marine protected areas? Is that what's next for you?
Certainly pushing for marine protected areas, but I think for citizens, regular people, everyday people who support Sea Shepherd ships but can't personally be on a Sea Shepherd vessel as crew because they have their jobs, they have their families, they have their mortgages, this is a way they can really help. And this battle will not just be won at sea down in the Antarctic. This battle will be won in the supermarkets and grocery stores all across this country and all over the world. So I'm so glad that you plugged this activist toolkit, Sarah. People can go online, they can look at the app, they can go into their local grocery stores and supermarkets, take pictures of products. That will help us identify what the next step of this campaign will be. And I'm confident that we can shut down this destructive fishery. We have a reputation down in the Antarctic. We did shut down the whalers. We did shut down the toothfish poachers. We can end this as well.
No, you're absolutely right. And I do want to say thank you too. There's been like a nice, influx of photos and of products and advertisements, even on airplanes. I know we saw on one of the airplanes, one of our, people on the ground sent us, they were putting these advertisements for krill supplements on the back of every airplane seat. And it was like, I had no idea. And if we don't know that, that's something so valuable that you as someone out there in the world can help us by sending that to us. So just so grateful to all of our audience who's really been participating in that. And Peter, man, I really, really appreciate you being here. I'll let you get back to your day. But yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add or?
I'm just so thrilled with what the Sea Shepherd movement is doing around the world. The great work that SSCS is doing to protect the vaquita. It's a record year of lowest incidents of illegal fishing, and that's something that y'all make possible. And the people who are tuning into this show, these are the loyal crew, the loyal volunteers, the loyal donors who make those successes possible. And as someone who still has the incredible privilege after 21 years of being with Sea Shepherd to still go out on the ships, to still go out on these campaigns, seeing the results of the work we do firsthand, I know that's only possible thanks to our generous donors and supporters. So to anybody tuning into this show, thank you so much. These are your successes. These are your victories. When we shut down the krill fishery, it will be thanks to you. Thank you so much for helping us protect animals at sea.
Thank you so much, Peter. You have a great night.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Devin.
Thanks, Peter.
Bye. All right, that was Peter. What an amazing story. It's like that whenever we get any time with him, it's just so valuable and precious. Let me remove this thing.
And the krill campaign, it really just does remind me how Sea Shepherd is really trying to take a full approach and look at the full ecosystem of the ocean to protect every part. Like the krill campaign is also for whales, and I love seeing what all the different campaigns are doing and how they all come together to protect the ocean. So it's incredible.
Yeah, I'm super, super stoked. Well, we're coming up on the hour. Oh, Peter's saying thank you as he leaves. Yeah, well, we're coming up towards the hour or the half hour mark. I want to say thank you to anyone. Divin, did we see anything on the live stream of questions for anybody or questions that we could?
Sorry, my internet is also not working well. But one of the main questions that I saw was about krill supplement replacements. I know that there are a few we can use, like flaxseed oil, but also there is
seaweed.
What were you saying?
Was it seaweed too or something? Keep going though. I want to hear
seaweed, yeah, but there will be. I know that Global has created a document that kind of has alternative supplements, and we'll be posting more of that just to give people like new ideas. If you are using krill supplements, like what else we can use, and a lot of that is flaxseed oil, seaweed. There's a lot of different ways to get those omega-3s, but we'll be posting more of that to come, so stay tuned.
Absolutely. And more to stay tuned from all our other new stuff coming up. We have some sea turtle stuff and some sea lion stuff that we're starting to work out protecting. But yeah, well, I really appreciate everyone who was on the show. I appreciate everyone who's watching. And yeah, we will see you next month, hopefully.
Oh, we will for sure. And for anyone who came late, if you want to watch the beginning of this will also be reposted on Facebook and YouTube. So make sure to tune in to the beginning to check in with our captains and one of our chefs. But as always, thank you guys for being here, and we will talk to you all soon.
Bye now.
Bye.